It's like you're trying to move on from your ex-girlfriend and she calls you for a booty call. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so do I hit that or do I move forward and move on from it? Welcome to another episode from Takedowns to Breakdowns with A&P, and I knew this was going to happen. Slayer's coming back with a reunion.
Oh, shit.
I knew it. It was a matter of time before the royalties run out, before everybody needs some beer money, and they announced 2 festival shows. Not a tour or anything like that.
Oh, just festival shows?
Just 2 festival shows.
You know what, though? I feel like that is what Slayer has been demoted to, just doing festival shows.
Okay, but if the issue was... I think the issue was Tom called it quits.
Mm-hmm.
And when he called it quits, the band called it quits, right? He called the shot, right? He shot his shot, and he called the shot. If that was the case, why not just say, you know what? We're not going to tour anymore.
But we'll do occasional...
3-4 festivals a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why not just do that?
Why say we're done?
Unless that puts pressure on them that they have to release new music, because this way they're not releasing new music. They're just going to do 2 or 3 festivals this year. So far, 2 festivals were announced. So far. I don't know if that's going to increase or not. But it just makes it really weird because Kerry King just released a single.
Yeah.
Announced the release of his debut album. Shit on everybody else that was in Slayer before, including Tom. Like, he said he hasn't talked to the guy in a long time. And now this gets announced. There was some talk of him not even knowing about it or whatever. I don't know, man. I find this whole thing super strange, super weird, and I think it kind of diminishes a little bit of the name of the band. In my opinion.
No, dude, the water's on the product, definitely. But in my opinion, just let old dogs lie, man. Fuck, like, why?
I don't think the saying goes like that. It's
whatever,
sleeping dogs lie.
Whatever.
Not old dogs.
Put the bird down, man. Like, I don't like what. The band has been around for so long. They've done all they can. Why even diminish yourself to just festivals on the year, right? Like,
I'm okay with that.
I'm not, because the way they call it quits and the way they're doing, I don't know. It's a lot of.
It's just, to me, it's just strange because why would you release a solo album and then like a week later, not release the album, but announce the album, and he's gonna go on tour.
Yeah.
With his band, right, that he put together. And not only he's going on tour, he's also playing festivals all over he's playing Tuska.
Yeah. Like,
and 𝗙𝗎 in Finland. So, like, he's playing all over the place. So, why these 2 Slayer shows, like, out of, like, nowhere?
Do you think he was the one who decided, or...
No.
Because I think he's doing well for himself. I'm happy for him,
I think this came out of... I think he was as surprised probably as everybody else.
Yeah, because you know what's funny? I'm happy for him. Like, the way everything went down, I feel like he is the perfect example of when a band goes kaput. There's a perfect example of what to do after if you want to continue music. Put out the single, has the band going on tour, has some festivals lined up. He's doing well. Like, he's doing well after Slayer. So I think he doesn't really need to do. Well, he doesn't need to, but he's going to.
The point is this. Obviously, he wasn't happy with the decision to call it quits.
Yeah.
Obviously, based on what he said before the announcement of the 2 Slayer shows, there is some animosity, at the very least, some sour grapes between him and Tom. I don't think anybody can deny what I'm saying right now, right? Yeah. So he makes this announcement. To me, the announcement of the Slayer shows, it kind of undermines his own announcement of his solo stuff. Because it's like this. Who wants to go see Kerry King and his band if you can go see Slayer? Like, you know what I mean? This would be the equivalent.
Fuck.
This would be the equivalent. To me, this is so it's like a backhand compliment. It's a total backhand compliment. Because it would be like, and I'm just going to use an example here of a band that did this, not, I mean, the reunion thing. It would be like Prophets of Rage announcing that they're going to go on tour, right? Mm-hmm. Announcing that they're going to go on tour. And then a week later, Zach announces that Rage Against the Machine is going to do 3 festivals. Who the fuck wants to go see Prophets of Rage when you can go see Rage Against the Machine? I mean, like, it literally is the exact same thing that's happening right now.
True, but it's only those festivals. But you're right. It does
It
seem
doesn't for now.
It does seem
For
like,
now, you
but
don't
it
know
does
if
seem like something
you
done
don't
out
know
of
if
malice.
you don't know if they're going to add more festivals or not. To me, it's a backhand
It
compliment.
does seem like something that was done out of malice.
Oh, you're releasing a solo album? Are you going to play some shows? Guess what? We're coming back, bitch. Like
without you knowing.
with yeah. But then it's kind of like,
Can you come play with us?
Well, he kind of has to.
Yeah.
Like it would be kind of weird if he doesn't play. But and Paul Bostaph on drums, he's also in Kerry King's project. What, are they going to get Dave Lombardo to come back and play drums? I don't think that's going to happen. So, like, to me, this whole announcement, weeks later after him announcing festivals, touring, album, dropping single, I don't know, dude. To me, this feels like so petty.
My thing is that to announce it, they've all had to agree to do it. There's no way you can announce it.
According to him, he didn't know about it, and he was taken by surprise with the announcement.
If I was him and you said his name. Fuck, I'm trying to remember. Bo Staff. I'm like no. I would say no. I mean, in a way, you have to also realize like the whole thing about this, right? If you say yes, those 2 will turn into 4 festivals, right? And then that puts the whole project on hold.
This whole thing is weird to me because I don't know who owns the rights to the name.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tom owns the rights or if it's shared because they're the 2 original members, right?
Yeah.
So just because they're the 2 original doesn't mean they own the rights equally. One of them could have registered the band under their name, and it technically Slayer is his band. I don't know the legalities of it. I don't know who owns what. I don't know who agreed. All I know is that the announcement was made on the Slayer page, right? Like Instagram and whatever. And the festivals announced it. So I don't know if management...
Would you say yes, though?
No, what I'm saying is how can you, as Slayer, either be management or Tom or whoever, how can you say yes to 2 festivals without talking to the rest of the guys
That's
and
very
get
true.
everybody on board?
That's very true.
Like, to me, that doesn't... Like, there's a lot of things in this whole thing that don't
Because
jive.
they just call it quits.
Well, not just. They called it quits like before the pandemic.
I know, but I'm saying like it's
to me it's just there's so many questions that I have. It's like so you say yes to the shows and you don't talk to the rest of the guys. You just assume everybody's on board.
I feel like that should be the
first conversation. Should be, hey guys, we got these offers. Do you guys want to play some shows together? To me, that should be the normal thing.
Yeah.
Now, if I was in Kerry King's shoes, I would say, no, why are we doing this now? I'm just announcing an album.
Exactly.
I'm going to play some shows. I'm going to go on tour or whatever.
Me.
Let's not do this now. Let's do this like
next year
or 2 years from now, but not right now.
Not now. Like it's fucking up. It's fucking up what I'm doing now. Like
exactly.
That's why I'm saying from those
like,
2 guys.
Here I am. It's like you're trying to move on from your ex-girlfriend, and she calls you for a booty call. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so do I hit that or do I move forward and move on from it? Like, you know, you kind of caught it.
No, you're trying to move on, and you have a new girl because he's in the new band.
Yeah.
And then
the other one calls you for a booty call. This whole thing to me, it's like such a backhand compliment.
It's just... the thing is, it's also kind of unneeded. Like, Slayer is Slayer. I feel like everyone's seen Slayer.
I feel like Tom was sitting in a room, watching the press releases about Kerry King's project, and him like bitch talking him.
Yeah, and he's
oh
like,
yeah,
oh yeah.
You think you're gonna do good, huh? You think you're gonna do good? Guess what? We're coming back.
Coming back, motherfucker.
And you gotta play.
Like, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. He doesn't want to.
That is true. But then if he does that, does he forfeit royalties? Does he like? There's legal issues here, right?
There's
like
legal issues here, but like he wasn't. But legally, I feel like legally he
does he have to be consulted?
No, but if he owns part of the band, right?
We don't know.
That's a big if. That's a big if, but he should have been told before.
Even if he doesn't,
they should all been told.
Even if he doesn't, if I own the band, I registered the name. Like it was like Children of Bodom, right? Like Alexi created the band. He was one of the founding members. One could argue that he was the band, but he didn't own the name Children of Bodom. The name was owned by the other guys, right? So I think 2 of the other guys or 1 of the other guys owned the name. Mm-hmm. So when they decided to call it quits, he didn't have a choice. They owned the name of the band. They decided it's done. So he had to go on and start a different band under a different name. Similar not similar, exactly what's happening with Kerry King, which leads me to believe that he doesn't own Slayer. Otherwise, you could have said to the other guys, to Tom or whoever, well, you don't want to be in the band anymore? Whatever, go fuck yourself. I'll bring somebody else to sing, and we'll continue as Slayer. Like, you know...
but that would still kind of like...
it would have sucked.
It would have sucked.
It would have sucked.
I think the way he's going at it now is very good.
I agree with you. It would have sucked. But what I'm saying to you, if he owned the name of Slayer, he could have easily done that, right? So the Alexi example is a perfect example of you being in the band and having no control over what the band does. Now, having said that, if Alexi hadn't passed away and 3 years have gone by and the guys are like, you know what? Maybe we should bring the band back for 2 shows. They can't do that without talking to him. It's not Children of Bodom unless he's in it, right? So how can Slayer do this and not everybody be on board and sign off on it? Yeah, I don't know. I find that hard to believe.
I find that hard to believe, but him saying that he didn't know about it just shows that, like,
to me, there's a lot of things.
Me personally, let me someone who's not really a huge Slayer fan. I like Slayer. I listen to Slayer. But I wasn't part of that generation and stuff. So
he's not part of the cult.
I wasn't part of the cult. I've seen Slayer live. I enjoy Slayer. I like Slayer. I like his new shit, right? So it's the thing about it is, if I was Kerry King, I wouldn't do it. And then if I'll go through all the legal shit, I wouldn't do it because it feels like a slap in the face. Like, I'm putting out my own stuff. I'm going on tour. I'm going to do these festivals here and there. And what, you want me to do Slayer too? It's gonna overshadow my shit.
It's gonna dilute his product.
And overshadow his shit. And then when they go back into the resting cave, his stuff is no longer worth what it was before.
No, because I think one of the appeals of his solo stuff now is the fact that we haven't had any Slayer in like 4 years. So that's one of the appeals, is that we're getting something Slayer-esque. You know, we're getting basically songs that didn't make the cut of the previous record. And now he's releasing those songs under his name because he wrote the songs. That's technically what we're getting Slayer minus.
We're getting slayed.
We're getting slayed, for sure. So to me, it's like having those shows. I know they're not releasing an album. They're just playing two. But it doesn't matter. To me, it still feels like a backhand compliment. It still feels like they're undermining what he's doing. That's what it feels like to me. And I'm sure it probably feels like the same thing to him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's such a weird situation, and I hope that.
But you can't say you're surprised about the return. The timing is surprising.
The timing is very surprising. But I was saying this when they called it quits. I'm like, they'll be back.
I thought they would be back, for example, when one of their records is like a big anniversary.
Yeah. Like
30 years or 35 years of something. You know what I mean? Seasons in the Abyss or whatever.
If I was Kerry King, though, I'm pissed.
And then you can do a tour. Like a small tour where you just play that album from beginning to end. Yeah. That kind of shit I like, and I think that works.
That works.
But this to me, it just feels like
so backhanded. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Kerry King. I'm not happy because it's like, one, I should have been told. No one told me, and two, I'm releasing my own stuff with my own band. We're going on tour. We're doing festivals here and there. Like, this is such a slap in the face because now it's gonna fuck up my shit just because you didn't want to. Like, if it's a whole malice thing, what, just because you didn't want to do stuff, now I gotta.
And we're not talking about. It would have been different if the band didn't break up and he leaves the band to start his own solo stuff. So, for example, like when Bruce Dixon left Iron Maiden,
of course.
Iron Maiden is not going to go on a hiatus just because he left and he decided to do his solo shit. No, they found a different singer and they carried on.
They continued.
And that's totally fine. Like, but that's not the case here. This is the equivalent for me for when Creed broke up, right? And Scott Stapp went solo, right? Yeah. And Tremonti did his own thing, and whatever, like everybody kind of did their own thing. You know what I mean? So that to me, it would have been the equivalent of them saying, "Okay, we're gonna break up." He does his solo shit, and when he announces his solo shit, the rest of the band's like, guess what? We're doing a couple of shows. It doesn't make sense to me. It dilutes the whole dilutes the breakup or the hiatus in Slayer's case was not a hiatus. They didn't announce it as a hiatus. They announced it as we retire, we're done.
Yeah.
So and now it just feels like such a bad thing for the guy who's releasing his own solo material. Anyways, I know we keep going around in circles, but it's just trying to wrap your head about all of this that's going on.
It's definitely very hard to wrap your head around.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense, and I hope, at least if I was Kerry King, I'm not doing.
Okay, now I'm going to say something that perhaps is going to surprise some Slayer fans, which is I have no interest in seeing Slayer at any of these two festivals. They're two U.S. festivals. At least that's the two that they announced. Okay. I think one is in Chicago, and the other one I can't remember, Wisconsin or something like that. I can't remember where it is. But anyways, though that announcement is not making me buy plane tickets and festival tickets. I've seen Slayer like more than I can count.
Yeah, and I've seen Slayer twice. I'm content. I've seen Slayer twice.
I've gotten my fair share of Slayer, so I'm not interested in jumping on this on this because to me this is a cash grab.
I was more excited to see.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. So my statement is this: I'm more interested in seeing Kerry King's project live than I am revisiting Slayer.
Yeah.
To me, it's a cash grab. Same thing that happened with Rage Against the Machine. That now they announced that they broke up again. So I'm not like I'm good, but Kerry King's project, which even though I feel like it's Slayer light, I'm interested to see how that dynamic works because it's really a super group when you look at all the guys involved, and so I'm more interested in seeing that than I am in this bringing back Slayer again for a couple of shows. It just doesn't do it for me.
That's not needed, in my opinion.
I feel like it cheapens their legacy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It cheapens their legacy. If they wanted to do this, then they shouldn't have announced it as a retirement. It's saying, you know what, we're taking a break. Like Nightwish said, after we release the album this summer, we're not going to tour. We're taking a hiatus. Yeah. We're taking a sabbatical, right? We don't know when we're going to come back. We're just taking some time. Okay, they could have done that. We're taking some time, blah, 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 blah. Then you announce that you're coming back with these shows. Then nobody bats an eyelash at it. You know what I mean?
Well, the fact that you use the word retire and everything, it's like, okay, well now.
Yeah, and the fucking guy took 4 years to release his own solo shit, and now they fucking pull the rug under his feet here. You know?
It seems kind of douchey to me.
It comes across very douchey, very, very, very douchey.
Very douchey.
All right. On that note, guys, hit us up in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts on this Slayer reunion of sorts. This is going to be an interesting one, I must say. All right, let's see what the next couple of weeks bring, because I'm sure we haven't heard the end of it. And we'll see you all next week, I'm sure, with another story.
See ya.